money in Oscar De La Hoya's bank.
Stop the fight. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Let's finish it. That's it. Let's go.
Manny Pacquiao has beaten Oscar De La Hoya. It's a beating now. Here, number 2. Huge jab that puts Ugas down. Caught him right towards the end.
When Oscar De La Hoya talks boxing, the world may not come to a halt, but true fans pay close attention, especially when the name Manny Pacquiao enters the conversation. This isn't casual talk from a retired legend on the sidelines. It's insight from one of the greatest fighters of his era. Reflecting on the man who dismantled him round by round in 2008, that night, De La Hoya entered the ring as the Golden Boy and left it knowing he had faced something different, untouchable. That opponent was Pacquiao. Now, at 46, Manny is eyeing a possible return, with Mario Barrios, a younger, bigger, more active fighter, on the radar. On paper, it's a mismatch, with youth and momentum clearly favoring Barrios. But De La Hoya sees deeper. He knows the chaos Pacquiao brings: the speed, the angles, the relentless pressure that's as mental as it is physical. De La Hoya has felt it, lived it, and been changed by it. That's why, in his eyes, Manny might still have one more storm left. This isn't about nostalgia or wishful thinking. It's a real assessment from someone who shared the ring with greatness and never forgot what it felt like. So when De La Hoya says Pacquiao can still win, he's not selling hope, he's remembering a truth the world may have overlooked.
I fought Pacquiao, and I was a dead man walking. I walked inside the ring, and my legs were shaking, and I was like, please just knock me out. Just stop me right here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Oscar, if you know your body is breaking down, you know you're not the fighter that you once were, why take a fight with Pacquiao when you know he's a dangerous man?
Because I dared to be great.
To understand why Oscar De La Hoya's opinion on Manny Pacquiao's potential matchup carries serious weight, you have to go back to December 6, 2008, the night Pacquiao retired him. That wasn't just another fight on De La Hoya's storied resume, it was the night the myth of the Golden Boy was shattered. Oscar was the bigger man, the pay-per-view king, and the overwhelming favorite. Pacquiao had just moved up from lightweight, and on paper, he didn't stand a chance. The odds, the storylines, the media all pointed to an Oscar win, but from the first bell, it became clear that this wasn't going to be the fight people expected. Pacquiao moved like something out of a video game glitch, landing punches from impossible angles, fast enough to leave De La Hoya swinging at air. Each round grew more desperate for Oscar until his corner stopped the fight before the 9th could begin. It was the most one-sided loss of his career, and his last. Afterward, De La Hoya didn't make excuses. He admitted his style wasn't suited for Pacquiao's. That pride clouded his judgment. And most importantly, that Manny was simply too fast. That kind of humility doesn't come easy for legends. But when it comes to Manny, even legends have to acknowledge reality. That night didn't just mark a Pacquiao victory, it was a turning point in boxing. The rise of a new icon and the end of an era. And for Oscar, it created a permanent, personal memory of what it feels like to face Pacquiao at full speed. So now, when he says Manny might still have what it takes to beat someone like Mario Barrios, a younger, bigger, more active fighter, he's not making a wild guess. He's drawing from experience. He's one of the very few who has stood across from that storm and lived to tell the tale. And he knows that even a 70% version of that Manny could bring problems Barrios isn't ready for. That's what gives De La Hoya's words not just credibility, but edge.
The seconds from round 1, they're simple. De La Hoya is so much taller, Pacquiao so much faster, and now De La Hoya
Confusing him at the moment. But we're getting busy watching the tail. But right now, Manny is hitting him with his punches.
momentarily shocked.
At 46 years old, Manny Pacquiao isn't supposed to still be a threat not by boxing's traditional standards. He hasn't fought since August 2021, when he lost by unanimous decision to Yordenis Ugas, in what looked like the final chapter of a legendary career. The footwork appeared in flashes, the flurries came in moments, but the speed wasn't there consistently, and the timing was just slightly off. He wasn't the hurricane he once was, more like a strong wind at the edge of a dying storm. And yet, here we are, 2 years later, with whispers turning into headlines. Photos from training camps, sparring clips circulating online, that familiar fire returning to his eyes. Manny Pacquiao might not be done. The truth is, most fighters chase legacy, but Pacquiao is legacy. He's boxing's only 8-division world champion, a man who's defeated Hall of Famers across 4 decades. What sets him apart isn't just the resume, it's the way he fights. Pacquiao doesn't box conventionally, he overwhelms. His style is built on chaos. unpredictable angles, explosive bursts, double steps, triple pivots, full body attacks. Most fighters can't sustain that into their late 30s. But Pacquiao defied the clock well into his 40s. Even at age 40, he dropped toe-pranked welterweight Keith Thurman in the first round and won by split decision. So, can that version of Pacquiao show up against Mario Barrios? Oscar De La Hoya believes it's possible, and he's not just hoping. According to Oscar, what shocked him most about facing Pacquiao wasn't the power, it was the timing. The way Manny would slip just outside range and counter with explosive combinations. That kind of anticipation doesn't vanish overnight. If anything, it sharpens with experience. And here's what most people overlook. Barrios has never fought anyone like Manny. He's seen power, yes, but not the angles, the rhythm, the unpredictability. Thurman beat Barrios, but Thurman fights straight. Manny doesn't. He comes from the left, from underneath, then disappears and reappears with another burst. Even a faded version of that style is a puzzle most elite fighters couldn't solve. Of course, there's risk. Manny's been out of the ring for 3 years, and the legs may not be what they were. The reflexes possibly slower. But this isn't just about age versus youth. It's chaos versus order. And Manny, even now, thrives in chaos. So when people dismiss the idea that Pacquiao could beat someone younger, taller, and fresher like Barrios, they're forgetting who they're talking about. This isn't just another boxer. This is Manny Pacquiao, last of a dying breed. And if Oscar De La Hoya believes he still has one more fight left in him, that belief comes from experience, not fantasy.
Manny Pacquiao. Oh, down goes Thurman! And let me tell you, that was just a quick punch.
Mario Elastico Barrios isn't flashy, and he doesn't need to be. In an era crowded with loud personalities and viral moments, Barrios has carved his identity through something simpler but far more durable. Showing up to fight. Quietly, disciplined, technically sharp, and physically gifted. Barrios represents the new generation of boxing talent athlete, composed, and completely unbothered by hype. At 29, he stands nearly 5 feet 10 inches with a 71-inch reach, giving him a notable size and length advantage over the legendary Manny Pacquiao. He's also active and in form, coming off a dominant win over Yordenis Ugas. Same Ugas who beat Pacquiao in 2021. That win was more than a comeback after Barrios suffered consecutive losses to Gervonta Davis and Keith Thurman. It was a message. Barrios isn't just back, he's evolved, stronger, and fully adjusted to welterweight. But Oscar De La Hoya sees something deeper than the stats or even the recent win. Barrios may be skilled, but he's never encountered a rhythm like Pacquiao's. Against Davis, Barrios started strong but unraveled under pressure. Davis, smaller in size, exposed the weakness. Barrios can be broken down by fighters who bring speed, movement, and relentless pressure. That blueprint is written. The question now is whether a 45-year-old Pacquiao can still follow it. Barrios brings a methodical approach to the ring, a slow burn style, using his jab to control range and pace, hunting clean openings rather than forcing exchanges. But that system collapses when disrupted. Davis cracked it. Thurman cracked it. If Pac can fight in bursts like before, he could prevent Barrios from ever getting into rhythm. Barrios' performance against Ugas complicates the picture. He looked sharp, scored a knockdown, controlled the pace, and showed maturity in timing and confidence. Yet even an injured Ugas found openings, and he's a predictable, orthodox fighter. Pacquiao, he's southpaw chaos. No one Barrios has fought mimics Pacquiao's angles, volume, and unpredictability. Manny doesn't follow the script, he rips it up. If the bout becomes a slow technical chess match, Barrios likely wins on points. He's younger, longer, fresher, and in better condition. But if Pacquiao sets an early tempo and keeps the fight messy, it flips everything. That's what Oscar is banking on. His respect for Pacquiao is born from experience. When they fought in 2008, he admitted it plainly. Pacquiao was too fast, too smart, too good. That memory hasn't faded, and it's why Oscar didn't dismiss the possibility of Manny beating Barrios. He didn't scoff at the age gap. Instead, he pointed to how it could still happen. That says everything. Oscar sees styles, not stats. Barrios is orderly. Pacquiao is disruption. And in boxing, chaos paired with genius can win. Manny's southpaw stance is already difficult, but it's how he moves, starting in, pivoting offline, attacking from impossible angles that breaks opponents down. Barrios fights linearly, and Manny turns lines into spirals. Against Thurman, Barrios' structure wasn't enough to stop a veteran's momentum. Pacquiao is a master of seizing momentum early, often stealing control within the first 30 seconds of a round. Even now, Pacquiao's training footage shows those explosive bursts still exist. He might not sustain them for 12 rounds, but if he wins the first 6 through sheer speed and aggression, he can coast, counter, and win on points. Barrios may have the cardio, but does he have the adaptability? That remains to be seen. Then there's the mental game. Barrios enters as the favorite on paper. Youth, recent success, Physical gifts, but Pacquiao isn't just another name. His presence carries a weight few can ignore. When the crowd roars, the lights drop, and Pacquiao steps into the ring, it becomes more than a boxing match. It becomes a test of nerve, of mental fortitude. Oscar knows that feeling. He walked in confident and walked out humbled. That's the edge Manny still carries. In boxing, styles and psychology win fights more than numbers ever will. Oscar's belief in Manny isn't just nostalgia, understanding the game on a deeper level. He knows what happens when a high-volume, explosive southpaw faces a controlled, methodical fighter. If Manny's legs hold for 6 rounds, if his reflexes flash even close to their old sharpness, and if his timing shows up, then Oscar isn't crazy to think Pacquiao could win. He may be the only one saying it out loud, but he's not the only one wondering, what if the legend's not done yet?